All right, let's go on a journey. I mean, way back. Back to the very beginning, before history was even a thing. Today, we are diving deep into Genesis, chapter 2, to uncover the world's first story about what it even means to be human. Take a look at this. These are the actual words, passed down for thousands and thousands of years. It's kind of amazing, right? We're about to connect with the exact same story that countless generations before us have read, the story of how it all began. So think about it for a second. Before anyone was writing history books, what was the very first story ever told about being human? That question is exactly what we're tackling today. This isn't just any story. It's like the blueprint for humanity, for our purpose, and for why we need each other so much. You ready? Let's get into it. Okay, so our story opens on day 7. Picture this. The entire universe is like a brand new masterpiece, just finished. Everything is perfect. After 6 days of cosmic fireworks and creation, a deep, peaceful quiet settles over everything. The work is complete. So on the 7th day, something really different happens. God doesn't make anything new. Instead, he just stops. He pauses. It's like an artist stepping back from the canvas to just take it all in, to enjoy the creation. And this wasn't just, the end. It was actually the beginning of a super important rhythm for the whole universe, a cycle of creating and then resting. And that brings us to this amazing idea called Shabbat, or the Sabbath. Now, this is really cool. In this story, rest isn't about, being lazy or doing nothing. It's actually a holy act. It's a gift of time. Time for peace, time to reconnect, and it's woven right into the very fabric of how the world works. Okay. Now, the camera of our story does something amazing. It zooms in, way in, from the whole wide universe, down to one specific spot on Earth. And what do we see? Well, not much yet. The ground is totally bare. No flowers, no trees. Just a soft mist rising up from the earth, kind of watering the silent ground. It feels like the whole world is holding its breath, waiting for something. And that feeling, that quiet, waiting feeling is so important. The world is ready. It's just waiting for a caretaker. This is that moment, the calm before the storm. The split second right before the entire story of humanity is about to begin. And then it happens. But it's not like a magic trick, poof. The story describes it as this incredibly personal, hands-on, artistic moment. First, God forms a figure from the dust of the ground. Then, and this is the key part, he breathes the nishmat chayim, which literally means the breath of life, right into its nostrils. And in that instant, the dusty figure becomes a nefesh chaya, a living soul. And that's so much more than just being alive. It means a being with a mind, with feelings, with a soul. There's this really beautiful quote from the Talmud that gets right to the heart of this. It says, "A person can draw a picture on a wall, but they can't give it a soul. But God fashions a form and breathes the soul right into it." It just perfectly shows the difference, right? Anyone can build something, but this was about creating life, sharing a spark of the divine. So now we have this living soul, and he's going to need a place to live, right? And what a place it is. God plants a garden in a place called Eden. I want you to just imagine the most incredible, beautiful park you've ever been to, and then multiply that by 1,000,000. Can you almost smell the flowers? Hear the sound of crystal clear rivers flowing? It was perfect. And the story gives us these amazing details that make it feel so real. Right in the middle of the garden were 2 very special trees, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. We'll get back to them. And get this, 4 huge rivers flowed out of Eden to water the rest of the world. So this garden wasn't just some little isolated spot. It was like the beating heart, the source of all life for the entire planet. All right, so God places the first man, who the story calls Adam, right into this paradise. But here's the thing, it's not a vacation. This isn't about just chilling out. Right from the get-go, Adam is given a purpose, a really important job that comes with a huge responsibility. So what was humanity's first ever job description? It was pretty straightforward, actually. His main mission, in the original Hebrew, was lehavda uleshamra, which means to serve and protect the garden. A caretaker, a guardian. That was the to-do. And then there was just one not to do. One single boundary. And that one rule was super clear. God basically said, look, you can eat from any tree you want, except for the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And the consequence was just as clear. The day you eat from it, you will surely die. Now,
It's important to see this not so much as a threat, but more like a law of nature. It's like saying, don't touch a hot stove because you will get burned. It's cause and effect. And with that one rule, boom, the incredible, powerful gift of free will enters the story.
Okay, so everything seems perfect, right? Adam has a dream home, a meaningful job. What could possibly be wrong? Well, the story takes a fascinating turn. It reveals the very first problem in this perfect world. And surprisingly, the one who points it out is God himself. And what God says here, it's a huge deal. Just listen, it is not good for the man to be alone. Whoa, think about that. For 6 whole days, everything was good, very good. This is the first time ever that God looks at his creation and says, you know what? That's not good. It tells us something absolutely essential about ourselves. We're wired for connection. We're just not meant to be alone. So what's the first step to solving this? God brings every single animal, every bird, to Adam. Can you just imagine that? This incredible parade of creation walking by, and Adam's job is to name them. This is his first big task. It shows his wisdom, his authority. But as he's doing it, as he's naming the lion, the eagle, the dolphin, he starts to realize something. The lion has a lioness. The eagle has a mate. Every single one of them has a partner.
So Adam has this whole amazing world at his fingertips. He's got a purpose. He has a direct connection with God. And yet, something is missing. He's named every creature on earth, but he hasn't found one single companion for himself. How do you think he feels in that moment?
And that brings us to the climax of this chapter. It is so beautiful. God causes a tardema to fall over Adam. Now, a tardema isn't just a nap. The Hebrew word implies this deep, supernatural kind of sleep. It's almost like he's undergoing a sacred operation, and God is the surgeon. And while Adam is in this deep sleep, God takes something from his side. The original word is often translated as rib, and from that he builds a woman. Now think about that for a second. She's not made from the dust of the ground like the animals. She's made from the man himself. And the fact that she comes from his side is so powerful. It speaks to equality, to partnership. She wasn't plan B. She was the answer to the one thing that was not good. So Adam wakes up, and God brings the woman to him. And his reaction? It's just pure joy. It's like poetry bursting out of him. He shouts, "Finally! This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh." You can just hear the relief in his voice, can't you? It's that at last moment of finding the one you've been searching for. He finally sees his other half.
And the whole chapter ends on this simple but incredibly powerful sentence. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and they were not ashamed. This isn't just about clothes, you guys. It's about being completely open, completely vulnerable with each other and with God, without any fear or secrets or shame. It's a picture of perfect trust and innocence, a perfect starting point for everything that comes next.
So how do we bring this incredible ancient story into our lives like right now? Well, remember humanity's first job, to serve and protect? That is our Improving Our Dimensions challenge for this week. I want you to find one thing in your world, and it can be anything, to serve and protect. Maybe it's your room, maybe it's your pet, or a plant in your house. It could even be a friendship. And just ask yourself, how can I care for this today? Then do one small thing, and just pay attention to how it feels. It's that simple. Thank you so much for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We really hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, hey, please like, subscribe, and we'd love it if you'd share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments below. We'll see you in the next chapter.